The Library of Alexandria, a name that echoes through history, symbolizing the vast intellectual achievements of the ancient world, the countless secrets of early civilizations, and a long-shrouded mystery of how one of humanity's greatest repositories of knowledge came to its tragic end. It's often said that a single fire wiped out centuries of human progress. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the library wasn't destroyed in one tragic night, but slowly faded away, victim to politics, neglect, and war? Today we uncover the real story behind the fall of the greatest library the ancient world ever knew. Founded in the early 3rd century BCE in the Egyptian city of Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria was part of a larger research institution known as the Museum, a temple of the Muses. It was the brainchild of Ptolemy Soter, a general under Alexander the Great, who sought to turn Alexandria into a beacon of knowledge. It's said the library once held up to 400,000 to 700,000 scrolls, containing works of philosophy, science, medicine, literature, and mathematics from Egypt, Greece, Persia, India, and beyond. Their ultimate ambition? Nothing less than to gather, preserve, and catalog the entirety of human knowledge from every known culture and civilization across the ancient world. A bold attempt to create a universal archive of wisdom. And it wasn't just a collection, it was a machine. Ships entering Alexandria's port were searched for books. If found, they were copied, the copies returned, and the originals kept. It was the world's first intellectual copyright theft, and it was state-sponsored. The popular belief is that the library was destroyed in a single tragic event, often blamed on Julius Caesar in 48 BCE. The story goes that during a civil war in Egypt, Caesar set fire to his own ships in Alexandria's harbor to block the enemy fleet. The fire spread to nearby buildings, possibly including a warehouse that stored scrolls from the library. But here's the thing, ancient sources don't agree on what was actually destroyed, or if it was even part of the main library. Roman historian Dio Cassius mentions that books were burned, but he never says the great library itself was destroyed. Some scholars believe that what was lost in 48 BCE was only a section, possibly an off-site storage facility near the docks. So was that the end? Not even close. Rather than a single cataclysm, the Library of Alexandria suffered a death by 1,000 cuts, over centuries. Let's look at the key moments. After Caesar, Alexandria remained a center of learning, but its status declined. By the time of Emperor Aurelian in the 270s CE, Alexandria was caught in a series of violent revolts. Aurelian laid siege to the city, and much of the Brucheian district, where the library was believed to be located, was destroyed. In the late 4th century, Emperor Theodosius I declared Christianity the state religion of the Roman Empire. Pagan temples and institutions were attacked, including the Serapeum of Alexandria, believed by some to be a satellite library. In 391 CE, the Serapeum was destroyed by a Christian mob, likely wiping out another huge chunk of stored scrolls. In 415 CE, a brilliant female philosopher and mathematician named Hypatia was brutally murdered by a Christian mob. Her death marked the end of the classical philosophical tradition in Alexandria. With scholars gone, the need for a grand library faded. You know, each of these moments chipped away at the institution. And here's the thing. No one event finished it off. The real tragedy is that no one even noticed when the last scroll turned to dust. But here's a twist for you. Some historians argue the library might not have been as massive or centralized as we imagine. Quite a revelation, isn't it? There's no archaeological evidence of a grand building housing hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Most of what we know comes from later writers who may have exaggerated its size and importance. Fascinating, isn't it? Some believe the library was a network of scroll collections throughout the city, not one giant complex. So when we imagine a single burning building losing all human knowledge, that may be more poetic myth than historical reality. Still, the idea of an ancient institution trying to gather all knowledge remains deeply powerful. There's another common claim that the library was destroyed during the Muslim conquest of Alexandria in 642 CE. According to later sources, the Caliph Umar supposedly said, "If the books agree with the Quran, they are unnecessary. If they disagree, they are heretical," and ordered the books to be burned. But most historians believe this story is a myth. It appeared centuries after the event and doesn't align with the Caliphate's generally pro-learning stance at the time. In fact, the Islamic world would go on to preserve and expand upon ancient Greek knowledge in institutions like the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. By 642, it's likely there was no great library left to destroy. So what was actually lost? We'll never know the full answer, but we do know that countless works from antiquity are missing: texts by Aristotle, plays by Sophocles, epic poems, mathematical treatises, and medical texts. Imagine if we had complete works of Democritus on atomic theory, or lost books from Heraclitus, or medical texts that could have advanced our understanding by centuries. The library's disappearance didn't just erase knowledge, it broke the chain of intellectual inheritance. Later, civilizations had to rediscover what the ancients already knew. But perhaps the greatest tragedy is also the greatest legacy. The Library of Alexandria taught us a vital lesson. Knowledge is fragile. It must be protected, preserved, and shared. In many ways, today's libraries, and the internet, are the descendants of that ancient dream. From Google Books to the Internet Archive to the digital preservation of ancient manuscripts, the human race is still trying to fulfill the mission that the Library of Alexandria started: to gather all knowledge and make it available to all. The Library of Alexandria wasn't destroyed in a single night of fire. It faded slowly as power shifted, wars raged, and priorities changed. But its story still burns, as a warning and as an inspiration. Subscribe for more lost histories, ancient mysteries, and deep dives into the past. And let us know in the comments, what do you think was the greatest book ever lost?